We have arrived at number 37 of our rankings of the greatest chess players of all time. And at 37, we have our boy, Harry Nelson Pillsbury, born in 1872 in Somerville, Massachusetts, the United States. And then he dies way too early in 1906, aged 33. Peter, that already indicates it was a brief career, but his highs were incredibly high, no?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, many of those we spoke about before came here in for durability. Pillsbury comes in here for his peak. I mean, he placed the Hastings 1895, which at that point was the maybe strongest tournament in history. Really all the best players are playing, and he just wins it. I mean, he wins it ahead of everybody who has a name in the chess world at the time, and he does that quite convincingly and such. And but also, if you look at the world rank by Sonos, he had the top rank for more than a year, and especially had a very high peak rating. So he was like a genius who just came into the chess world and impressed everybody, but actually winning it. And then later the year, there was a tournament in St. Petersburg, which maybe it wasn't a direct qualification tournament to play Lasker, but maybe practically it was. At least Kasparov was saying that. And by the stage point, he was actually having taken a commanding lead before completely collapsing. And the reason seems to be that he had contracted syphilis before the tournament and simply struggled with that for the remainder of his life. That really put a sort of strain to his career, despite still doing quite well. But before he fell ill, he was. It seemed like he was just the best player in the world at the time.
Yeah, that guy, hard to say, but from the little I have read, he just seemed like a freak genius occurrence. We don't really believe in these things normally, so I'm sure there was a lot of study and hard work going into it, but you read these stories about his blindfold achievements, about his memorization and whatnot. He just, seems like different species to me.
Very much so. It seems like a guy that hadn't he fallen ill and disappeared and died. I mean, it was something that could change the history massively, right? I mean, this could have been a guy that would be dominating his generation and such. I mean, these results. Well, we don't know because the statistical sample size is too small. But I mean, for what we know, he was incredibly impressive and seemed to have all the tools to be the best player in the world, both in terms of understanding and success and so on, but was not to be for tragic reasons.
No. So in 1895, he's 23 years old, right? He's just getting started.
Exactly. It's just as he started the career, and I think, let me just read who else played the tournament, right? Number 2, Chigorin, 3, Lasker, 4, Taras, 5, Steinitz, right? I mean, it is as good as it gets at that time, right? And, this young kid, he just wins the tournament. It's insane, basically.
So just a brief star whose career got cut very short by this illness, which I'm assuming at that time, they just didn't have the means to cure like they probably would now. He keeps dominating U.S. chess. I think he wins the U.S. chess championship and so on, but his shot at the world title he never gains because of that. Yeah, let's have a look at some chess. It's frustrating. So he's pioneering this setup, or I'm not sure if he invented it, with knight to e5 supported by f4, which frankly...
He gets its name. Maybe it's like Marocci, that it's not exactly a name on an opening, but more of a concept to some extent, right? And even to modern days, it's quite popular. I mean, it has its ups and downs in sort of theoretical status and more looks like a way to get a battle than necessarily an edge, right? But, I mean, this is against Taras and a very principled and classical game in this line. And the game seems to have its ups and downs, right? I think at some point Taras was probably clearly better, right?
Yeah, he was pushing it a little bit, but then in the end, Pillsbury does come through with this position we had on the screen. Some very brutal direct attack, knight h6, rook g7, takes, and he gives the knight, queen g3 check, king h6. And I haven't verified, but I'm assuming this is the star move, king h1.
I think so. Yeah, I checked with the computer, which says it's winning. I don't know how complicated it is for its time. Maybe it's simple that you just make a perpetual move before you mate. But I mean, all the pieces of Tara somehow is displaced, and you can't really get to the king. The pawn on e4 is great, and basically it's the Pillsbury attack coming to his most positive end, right? That black wins the queen side, but white is going to give mate, and this pawn on e4 actually creates a lot of safety for the white king, which is why he can afford to sacrifice a piece and whatever else he's done.
Yep. Now it ends up costing black the queen and the king.
A bit of technique, actually. Mobs. That's not technique, that's mate.
Checkmate. That's good technique.
So it's hard to judge someone like Pillsbury, right? I mean, we simply just need to... Yeah, we have taken a guess on where we think he belongs, right?
Yeah, we've measured different things. Obviously, he doesn't have the longevity, but the guys that we've had before on this list, none of them seemed like clear world number one. No. While Pillsbury...
Yeah,
you could argue the sample size is too small, but he does look like he belonged there had things not gone wrong.
That's, I mean, well, Sona seems to have no doubt about it and such, and also it's not like he's number one for one day, like for instance, someone like Mirosevic. He's there for more than a year and such, and Hastings very much verifies it, and so does the start of St. Petersburg and such. So he looks like the strongest player in the world at the time, and we keep repeating myself. It's impossible to say, basically. But that's our judgment, and we think that he definitely deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame because he looked like the planet's clearly best player for more than a year at some point.
Shout out to Pillsbury. The next player at spot number 36. I have no idea who it is, but I'm sure he'll have a longer career again. Thanks for watching this one. Bye.